Hey there, guys. Sean Michael here from WinBeta, and welcome to episode 38 of the WinBeta podcast for the week of October 23rd, 2015. With me is co-host Zach Bowden. With me is co-host Zach Bowden. Zach.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Hi, I'm here.
We got a show to do, buddy. Put
Sorry.
down Halo 5.
Sorry.
Got a show to do.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
As always, with me is co-host Zach Bowden. And this week we'll be talking about all sorts of stories. Well, shorter stories number-wise this week, but we got some big news because we got when Threshold 2 is going to ship. We got things about Edge extensions. Got Windows 10 mobile build and some polls on that. Phones that are being rendered out there and leaked, etc. We got a bunch of gaming news. More gaming news than usual this week, so get your gaming hats ready. Then we got some other stuff like financial news and Microsoft Wallet stuff and some other little bit stories that we're going to go through at the end of the podcast. But how are you doing this week, Zach?
I'm doing pretty great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. You know, I got this new white background. Very plain, very nice. Look at that.
Guys.
What if I just painted this wall green?
Why green?
Like a green screen. Would it work if I just painted it
It
green?
would absolutely work. If you light it correctly, that would work.
Oh, you know, the only problem is this isn't my house. Probably couldn't do that. Landlord comes in at the end of the year. Why is just like one 6-foot by 9-foot slab green? Like, what is that? Oh, it's behind the bureau. It's okay. No one will notice. In any event, yeah, so there we go. Not a lot of news this week, but you broke some news about Threshold 2. Why don't we start off with that?
Yeah, so this week, I wrote about Threshold 2 and its upcoming release date because Windows 10 Threshold 2 is about to RTM. I believe next week will be RTM week, and then the week after that it will be rolling out to consumers. I've been told it will be rolling out November 2nd, but others have heard first week of November. So yeah, it's the first week of November. It's coming soon, and very exciting. For those who don't know, Threshold 2 includes... What does Threshold 2 include? Improvements to Microsoft Edge, but not extensions. We'll be talking about that in just a moment. Improvements to the personalization options, like you can have a colored title bar now. You can add a fourth column in the start menu. Right-click context menu improvements, under the hood improvements, all that good stuff. This is kind of like the RTM Windows Microsoft wanted back in July. So it's a lot. This update will feel a lot more rounded. It'll make Windows 10 feel a lot more rounded when it rolls out. So I'm very excited for that. So that's not really the big news. The big news is the fact that extensions within Edge are not coming this year. Extensions are coming in 2016. Microsoft has now confirmed it. Earlier in the week, I wrote a story which said this was the case. I had heard that Microsoft had in fact delayed the feature because originally they had said extensions were coming later this year. They said that back in, I believe, April, maybe a bit before that. They said, we're working on extensions for Microsoft Edge, or for Spartan, whatever it's called back then. It should arrive in a future update later this year. And the only update arriving this year, other than the actual Windows 10 update itself, is Threshold 2. And after Threshold 2, there's nothing scheduled until Redstone. So for them to release an update this year, it would have had to come in Threshold 2. So it's not coming in Threshold 2. They've now come out and finally confirmed my story. It will launch in the new year for insiders, and it will launch to consumers in summer of 2016. So not much you can do there. It's a shame.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a shame, really, because, I mean, the majority of people who use the Microsoft Edge are people who don't care for extensions. And there's not many people out there who don't care for extensions, it seems.
Yeah, no, people seem pretty passionate about that. I want to get to extension in a sec, but I have a comment and a couple questions. First off, that fourth column doesn't seem like a big deal to some people. Maybe you say, oh, 4 columns on phones, it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Like the DPI shift on my 930, where I got 4 columns, like, I don't want to say completely overhauled, but you really fit a lot more on the screen with just that little change. And I think it's just another level of customization that you get. I don't know how dramatic it'll be on desktops, but it'll be noticeable. But I got a question for you. Threshold 2, that's not far away. What's that, like 2 weeks from now?
2 weeks, November 2nd, Monday.
How close are the current builds that you're getting now on PC to the public official builds to what's going to roll out on the 2nd?
Well, the RTM process is a complicated one. Sometimes they do jumps, sometimes they do all this interesting stuff. But build 10.565 which is the latest Insider build, is a very close RTM. I mean, they're not in the RTM escrow stage yet, but I highly doubt Windows 10 Threshold 2 will change drastically or incorporate a brand new feature between now and RTM. So what you're basically using as an Insider on the fast ring right now is kind of what you're going to get on November 2nd. The build number, the RTM build number itself, we don't know yet because they haven't compiled it. It could be anything. It's got to be... An RTM build is usually... can be divisible by 16 and 10, I think it is, or 100 or something like that. We'll see.
It's so weird that Microsoft has like these little hints and rules, and RTM builds are divisible by this number and all that stuff. I don't know. Oh, I had another question. Might come back to me. Extensions. Are you a big fan? Do you personally use them that often?
I don't use extensions.
I don't either. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've never used them that I don't know how useful they are. I've noticed some of the more popular ones. Obviously, there's ad block, which I don't know if we'll spend too much time. I'm against ad blocking. Just put that out there. That's how we make our money, man. Got to show those ads. I guess there's like Push Bullet and there are other extensions. I don't know what people. I guess people like extensions.
Yeah.
But I personally don't use them. But they seem to be a huge deal. There's some people who say I will not use Edge until it has extensions.
Exactly,
just not at all.
And that's one of the reasons why Edge is doing so poorly right now, I think. So, Microsoft, you've missed a great opportunity.
I guess, is WhatsApp Web on Chrome powered by an extension? Or is that just them working with the coding of...
I have no idea. I don't use WhatsApp on the web.
Because I don't think I ever downloaded like a WhatsApp extension on Chrome. I think it's just it works with Chrome and other browsers, but not Edge.
No, I don't know.
All right, wait. Last question. Why do we only get updates to some of these things with system updates? Wasn't the point... I saw this, someone commented on this, and I don't have an answer. Wasn't the point of separating so much of these apps and services away from the system that they could update them independently from system updates?
Yes. I have no idea.
But some apps seem to only get updates when there are system updates or new builds or like that sort of thing.
Some apps are built into the system. Not every app is an App Store app. Like, I don't believe Edge is. I know I'm sure people thought it was, but I don't believe it is. Edge gets updated with the build, whereas apps like Calculator get updated with just
those big up, in case they invent some new numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
They could do a calculator, clarify between billion and billion depending on region. So that could be their new update.
Yeah.
They send that out tomorrow. Okay, well, I guess that makes sense. All right, then. Was there anything else about Windows 10 this week before we move on to mobile stuff?
I don't believe so. Microsoft internal ring news, I guess. Microsoft said, or Gable said, I think 10.575 is on the inside of Fast. In the internal Fast ring for desktop, which means we could see that next week if it passes QA, which I imagine it will at this point.
Which would match the mobile build that he said is coming out next Tuesday, right?
Which would be nice.
Yeah, there you go.
It'd be nice. Synergizing.
Well, it's synergizing, except I think people get confused because then you'll say in a tweet something like, Windows 10, confusing. You say build 10,007 or 575 gets you X. And then they go, that's been on the desktop for a month. And you're like, I know, I'm talking about it on mobile.
People, if the build process is the same for mobile and for desktop. If there's a 575 for desktop, there's a 575 for mobile. And they usually feature the same stuff, unless, of course, one feature is specific to desktop or specific to phone. So it's not confusing. It's the same thing. Same code.
Okay. There you go. All right, then. Well, then moving on to Windows 10 Mobile. We had a build drop. Windows 10 Mobile build 10,572. There was only... Well, let me get into what's new. Obviously, we're getting relatively close to when this is going to kind of RTM. Public release will come shortly after that. But we're still getting some, updates or experience, not just bug fixes here. But so you got Skype messaging, calling, video experience, you get integration, all that sort of thing. And now supports animated GIFs or GIFs, depending on who you ask. That's a whole debate for another. That could be a poll in itself, GIFs versus GIF. In any event. And it actually says here, the phone has the ability to search for contacts from call history, which is nice. You get some Cortana improvements, which is nice. Booking Ubers and that sort of thing. Offline maps can now be put onto an SD card. I think the more things that can be put on the SD card, the better. Obviously, some stuff can't function from an SD card. I'm not going to run Premiere Pro from a USB or an SD card, but there's just data, simple things like that. That's pretty good. Got photo app improvements, storage setting improvements. So a nice, well-rounded update, I would say. The only real downside, for the second time in a row now, you had to roll back to Windows Phone 8.1 in order to update to Windows 10 Mobile, which for me involves going all the way back to factory resets. I think Windows 8, I want to say. I'm not positive,
8.1.
but it's just, okay, 8.1. But every time I go back to 8.1, I go, how did I ever do this? So for the second time in a row, that's kind of annoying, I guess. I assume you were on the latest build.
Yeah, Microsoft has said it's fixed with 5.7.5. So those of you who decided not to jump from 5.6.3 or 5.7.2.
Right, well, that's the only reason I didn't do the jump. Is because Gabe said the next Tuesday, just a few days from now, and some people will be watching this on Tuesday, you can go get it, hopefully, unless there's any last-minute changes. So that's why I waited, because I just did the rollback and jump forward before, but there's no one on Tuesday that means I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So we had a poll this week. We usually do these kind of towards the end, but this directly goes in there. And the poll was basically, should Microsoft release especially buggy builds? Obviously, to some extent, all builds are going to be buggy. That's what they are. They're builds. It's a preview software. If it wasn't buggy, it wouldn't be a preview software. Some people got really mad that I asked this question.
Yeah, I just want to say something about that. People were like, this is a stupid poll. Of course, builds should be buggy. You will not believe how many tweets I get on Twitter which complain to me when I say, why don't we get more builds? I don't care if they're buggy. People go, well, there are people running these builds on their computers that they need to use. Don't do that. It's an insider preview. These are supposed to be buggy. The buggier, the better. That's what I want. If it's more buggy, I want to use it.
For the record, my personal opinion, as long as it doesn't create permanent damage to your device, I think they should be sending these things out as much as they can.
Even if it does create permanent damage, give me the build. I'll use it.
For you. But for me, I'm okay. Someone has a secondary device, maybe they're just ready to burn it, whatever. But, I don't want it to brick my phone forever. I don't want my computer to light on fire when I'm, asleep and it's doing an update. But if it's something like, hey, you're on a preview build, so you can't watch movies through the Films and TV app for a while, that's what happens when you get a preview. But that's my personal opinion. I guess somehow how I phrased this article, people thought I was saying they shouldn't.
Tell the people how many people said no, they should leave the buggy builds.
We have 650-ish. Obviously, sometimes I like to vote to see the end results. So I'm going to say 650-ish people. 56% of the people said yes, which means 44% of people said no.
That's almost half.
It's really close to a 50-50 split. Which one, I would suggest leaving the preview program or not using it like you currently are. Two, it's also proof that, to me, this isn't a stupid poll. If almost half the people say each option, it's a good poll. That's like the best poll you could make.
Split. It's the perfect poll.
It's like that's why I set these polls up a certain way. I frame the questions that. But yeah, I don't know, man. To me, don't make my device light on fire, which some of these phone builds have gotten pretty close to in terms of how hot this 930 gets.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But don't have it light on fire. Send out the builds. Yeah. It's just, I think it's really weird.
If I could have, if there was a ring that just had builds available the second they were compiled, I'd be in that ring.
I bet you there's people at Microsoft that get that.
I don't know if there's a ring for the second they're compiled, but I mean, there's a ring for pretty soon after they're compiled.
There's got to be whoever's working on that build, they have to put it on a phone, right?
Because you've got OSG Fast and OSG Slow. OSG Fast is once the build has been, tested to work to a certain extent, I would imagine. So, I think there's a ring above it. There's a canary ring, which is kind of just builds. I don't know if they go for any testing or not. They just get put there. And then you've got OSG Fast, and then OSG Fast is kind of like what most of the people at Microsoft use, because it's fast enough, but it's not going to blow up in my face.
I want to say Gabe tweeted the number of total rings, but said that a certain number of them were internal and only.
No, he said there's 5 rings and 3 of them are internal, which I believe is OSG Fast, OSG Slow, and perhaps the canary one. Maybe there's maybe he's talking about another ring. I don't know, but yeah, they're the three I want to say that are internal. Then you've got insider fast and insider slow, which is what we're at. We're like on the very. I like how we're called insiders, even though we're on the outer ring.
Well, I mean, insider compared to it's all subjective, right?
No, if I compare my insider status to a Microsoft employee, I am as far outside as I could possibly be.
Well, I don't know if I'd say that.
I can't get any further from that being outside. I might as well be looking in for a window at Microsoft and go, oh, they got new builds. What am I running? Oh, yeah, something they just accidentally left outside.
I like how, didn't they have, yeah, it's funny how they have these builds sometimes. Then you go to like a thing and they have a build running on a phone that's demoing you. Hey, wait a sec. Why isn't that out here?
But they were like, oh, yeah, you can't run this device on the Lumia 1520. You can't run this build on the Lumia 1520. And then just Joe Buffer, you're like, oh, look, there's the Windows.
Except this Lumia 1520.
Yeah,
then it works fine.
Yes. Just give me the build. I don't care if it doesn't work. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. You know, it is funny because you get this. I mean, I am running a preview build on my daily driver, but that was because it was like 2 months from RTM, and I work with you, and I said, "Is this ready?" And I ask other people, you know, and you get this gauge of what the performance is like. And sometimes I had a test phone for a while, and then I jumped over it once it hit a threshold. Threshold, but. Some of these people, they say, oh, it doesn't work. And you get that. You see like YouTube comments, you get like Discuss comments or whatever, and they're like, oh, this doesn't work. Well, see, yeah, I know it doesn't work. That's why but whatever. That's your thing.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, speaking of new phones, there's another, and leaks and that sort of thing. You got some news on that this week.
Yeah, I received a render of the upcoming Lumia Sana? Don't know how to pronounce it. Saana, which was originally rumored to be a Lumia 830 successor, but judging by the render, it could be a Lumia 650. Considering on the render the time in the screenshot is 650, which Microsoft are known for in their renders using the same time that matches the model of the phone. Now I know this isn't the case for all renders, but you know, speculation's good, right? Speculation's good. And then another report from, who was it from? Someone did the specs, and it was, what is it, a Snapdragon 210, 5-inch, 7.
That's what it said. I do want to say there are people out there saying that it's a 410, not a 210.
Really? Are they saying that?
I saw that from someone.
Well, I was told I had the specs at the same time as releasing this render, but I didn't release the specs because I didn't want people to go, this can't be right. The Sun is supposed to be a 410. Exactly what you're saying there. So it's a Snapdragon 210.
Well, I mean, you're more inside than me. I saw someone claiming that after your report had already come out.
I was also told it was a Snapdragon 210, but I wasn't told screen size. I think Windows Power User did the screen size, which is a 5-inch 720p display. Glance screen support, which the 630 and 635 don't have, but the 640 does.
Right.
And yeah, I think that's it.
Well, that's good.
It's a low-end device.
This should be another good device. It seems a bit odd. Didn't they just release the 550? Or they just announced it, rather.
Yeah.
And now they got this one that doesn't... Weren't they supposed to be consolidating these lines where like they weren't going to have a bunch of different relatively similar phones?
I'm not sure what they're doing. I'm really not sure what they're doing.
It's very confusing to me because you had obviously the 950, 950 XL, and then there was rumors about a Surface phone, which who knows which that's going to go into, and then there's the 550. And I suppose there should be some sort of room. It should be. I know it's not low, medium, high. I don't know. It's like business and budget and some enterprise or some, I don't know what the other one, a flagship or something like that. So if you got the flagship, is this one the business? Is this business? Because it's not budget.
This isn't business.
Is it budget?
It's budget.
So now there are two budgets. Two budgets, gonna be business, and two flagships.
The 650, I believe. I don't know what they're doing. I can't explain it. I have no idea. I'm more interested in desktop, please. Their mobile movements are just as. I could talk about the mobile software all day, but when it comes to hardware, it's like I don't know. What are you doing, Microsoft? First things first, get the branding organized. Second thing first, sort out what you're releasing. A low-end device, a medium device, a medium-end device, and a high-end device. You only need 3. You don't need 400 low-ends, 1 medium, and 2 high-ends.
Or you can have, and then I like this regular Excel model. They should just have.
Yeah, they should have three versions of a. They should have three phones: a medium, a low end, and a high end. And each version should have an Excel variant
Right.
So there's two different sizes. Then they should
Which
have
means-
a business class, which is the Surface stuff. So they should have a low end Lumia, the Lumia 550, a middle range Lumia, which is the Lumia, I don't know, 750 or 850, and then no, it'd be the 750, and then a
Should be
high
7,
end,
yeah.
which would be the 950. And then you have an Excel variant of all of them. And then you have the Surface line, which is for business. So you would have the Lumia, not the Lumia set, just the Surface phone. You'd have the Microsoft Surface phone.
And the Surface Phone XL.
I'd buy the Surface phone, even though I wouldn't use it for business. But Surface phone for the win.
I would buy a Surface Phone XL.
Yeah, I'd buy a Surface Mini.
Well, I think a Surface Phone is about as close you're going to get.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great?
Guys, next year.
Wouldn't it be great if there was like a 5.7-inch Surface Phone XL that ran Win32 apps?
That'd be too small. I wouldn't use that.
No. You'd project it through Continuum.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's good.
And then they could shove in liquid cooling and 4 gigabytes of RAM, and now you have a phone that's as fast as a Surface Pro 2.
You can get a terabyte of storage on it.
I don't know about that one.
And 16 gigabytes of RAM.
But up to 2 terabytes on your micro SD card, Zach.
Oh, yeah, 2 terabyte. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, Microsoft, get your branding in order, please. Thank you.
I honestly, I don't know how. We're going to get into financial stuff later. If you're really into financial stuff, we're going to brush over it. But I recommend reading through all the articles.
We're not good at numbers.
Well, I'm okay with numbers. It's just it's not a thing. I don't think most of our listeners. I really want to know. How Azure did in the last fiscal quarter.
It did well.
But yeah. Spoiler alert. Did well. Microsoft makes lots of money. I want to be so rich that making making billions of dollars is down. That'd be great. But but I'm amazed that a company that's so profitable seems to struggle so much with marketing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they have more money than just about anyone. Why don't they just go hire someone who's good at marketing?
Because they think their team's good enough. But I hate the marketing team of Microsoft.
But that's what I mean is I don't understand. You have money. You could just blank check or, forward someone's bank account. Or you can use Microsoft Wallet, which, might be a thing. Blank check, fix our brand. We make good devices and good software. Make people know about them. Because if you talk to someone, do you think anyone knows about a Lumia 950?
Not really.
Do you think you could find 10 people that even heard about that device that don't work in this industry?
Nope.
No. And that's what I mean. It's maybe I know there's no commercials yet or whatever, but
I mean, you need to hire us. Our marketing ideas are the best, right?
We called HoloLens full body suit before that was even a thing. That wasn't inside sources. That was just me saying it'd be awesome.
I mean, we also had the idea of doing the whole flip thing with all the phones and the devices being one thing. Just get on with it.
Bring us in there, guys.
Funky,
whatever.
light adverts that last not too long, and they just show off all you need. We don't want to see a woman riding a bike saying, "This is my Surface Book." Nobody cares.
Or a baby that won't have to use a password when it grows up.
Yeah, show us the product and show us it doing cool stuff.
2 issues with the baby thing. One, I really don't think some parent's going to say, I need to buy a Surface Book because my baby won't need to use a password when it grows up. Second of all, if you set that baby's face to Windows Hello, it's probably not going to recognize it when he grows up anyway. So he's going to have to keep updating it because kids change all the time.
Yeah.
Have you seen how quick their feet grow and their faces change?
Microsoft.
Get it together.
Get
The Rock. Name them after. Come on, guys. We've gone through this before. Well, anyway.
Should we talk about Halo 5?
Yes, that would be a much more pleasurable experience.
Should we talk about Halo 5 possibly coming to PC? Because that is what one of the directors of Halo has said. Frank O'Connor said in an interview with Games Radar that Microsoft made huge commitments trying to sort of, I think, normalize Windows experiences across multiple platforms. You see the elements of Windows 10 are going to appear on the Xbox and Cortana and stuff like that. Then there is plenty of chance that Halo 5 could appear on a PC. Nothing to announce at this point, we developed the game on an Intel platform. It wouldn't be the hardest thing in the world to move it to PC and take advantage of PC stuff, but nothing I can announce today on this chat. So he's not ruled it out as not ever happening. He said that the code they built the game on was an Intel platform, which means they could very, very easily get it over to a Windows 10 for PC, or and make it a universal game between Xbox One and Windows 10. And then you could have PC gamers play with Xbox One users and hate each other over live. It'd be great. I'm not really excited about this because I just play Halo 5 on the Xbox because it's
You already have it.
I already have it. I've been playing.
But why were you? Oh, hold on. Let me go get a gaming PC so I can play this one game that I already have. But for other people, I could see this being a thing. To be honest, like I'm like a perfect example of who would want to use this. The only Xbox game I'm really anxious to play is Halo.
Halo's great.
In fact, there are some PC gamers that's like the big holdout. They have all the other games they want on their PC, and there's Steam and all that, and they're really happy. But they still want Halo because it's a good game, and Halo 5 looks great. And you've already played it some, and we'll talk about that more in a bit. But so Halo 5 looks fun, and I would love it. And then with the way that Windows 10 is going, you said it was the new Fable game. It gets cross-platform.
The Fable game is a cross-platform.
So
game.
Theoretically, you could have you doing Halo 5 on your Xbox and me on a gaming PC playing over Xbox Live together.
Yep.
Which would be awesome.
It would be pretty good.
Now, there'd have to be some sort of... Now, I was on Twitter about this earlier. They'd probably have to handicap people somehow or make where you are on the same controlling scheme or something.
Or, for multiplayer matches, what they could do is have a segregated playlist. So playlists only for console, only for PC, and then a playlist for mix, so you know what you're getting into. If you're playing with a controller, it'd be like, well, you're going to be at a disadvantage if someone's playing with a keyboard and mouse.
What if you had, and I don't know how many people would use this, but would the Xbox and the PC be able to detect what type of controller you're using?
I would imagine so.
So what if they had just like if you're on a controller matchmaking session?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they have playlists just dedicated to people with controllers on the Xbox One, and then dedicated to PC and mouse.
No, I was saying, what if you used it on a controller on a PC?
Oh yeah, I mean, you'd be able to jump into each one if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think the key thing should be on what you're using to shoot people.
There'd be like a controller playlist. A keyboard and mouse playlist and a mixed playlist.
I mean, I agree that the people on PC probably rendering it faster and more frames per second and stuff, and that might create a disadvantage too. But the controller parity seems to be one of the bigger things. You know what I mean?
Because everybody knows if you're playing on a controller against people with a keyboard and mouse, you're at a disadvantage.
What if you had a touchscreen on a PC game and then you had that dog that plays on the iPad? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Where he's like hitting things.
Yeah,
he could get people in Halo pretty quick if you get to hit their heads with the touchscreen.
Yeah.
They have to make a whole new class for that though. Dogs playing Halo.
Yeah, but exciting to see that Microsoft may one day bring Halo to PC, Halo 5 to PC, because there's Halo 1 and Halo 2 on PC already, so and Halo Online.
You brought up things like the story, and I agree that people would want that. I think maybe Master Chief Collection would be another, but it sounds like the one that's most likely to be brought in is Halo 5 because the Intel thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's been developed on the platform. It'd be an easy
I don't know. I mean, 5-10 years from now, I don't think these are going to be very diverged platforms. Might even be sooner than that.
Yeah, no, they'll be the same at some point. If a game's coming out on Xbox, it'll be coming out on PC.
I sure hope so.
At first party, that is, because PlayStation can't be involved in this partnership between PC and Xbox, unfortunately, because Sony sucks and Microsoft for the win.
There you go. Yeah, so there's that. Let me see
excuse me. Actually, about the whole cross-platform game thing, you know what Microsoft's trying to do with trying to get apps on Windows Phone by making them universal and developing for the desktop? They could do that for game developers as well. They could steal developers from Sony and stuff by saying, you can develop your game for our platform and have it run across not only one platform, but two. You could have the PC and the Xbox with little to no code changes. That would be a good selling point for developers, I think.
HoloLens 2, though obviously that renders different, but...
Yeah, I mean, developers can choose which apps, which hardware their apps run on, so if a game...
I think that's a good idea with the PC. I don't know. It seems like some of these developers, it's almost like a Coke versus Pepsi thing. It seems like they kind of pick a platform and then stick with it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people would, especially the big, who's a developer that makes games for PlayStation but not Xbox? I don't really know.
It's on the tip of my tongue. Can't remember. They developed like Killzone and stuff. Can't remember. What.
Okay, are they going to jump ship just because of that? I don't know, but maybe new gaming companies or
Yeah,
that sort of.
I mean that'd be where it is, and then when Sony fails miserably because there's nobody playing PlayStation no more, then there's everybody wins. Xbox is the best.
See, exactly.
See, we have the world domination plan. Microsoft, hire us.
We do. We got a plan. It's right here. We've got
it in our heads. You need to hire us. We need money for us to tell it to you. Execute it.
Look, we can't make all our money through YouTube ads and YouTube Red.
People just block them all the time.
Well, in other Xbox-related news, and also tying in with Windows 10, which is, I think, could be more and more of a thing, Cortana on Windows 10 can now connect to your Xbox Live account, which is pretty cool. It can already connect to your LinkedIn, Office 365, and Uber, which is Uber's in beta. Right? It's in preview.
I think so.
But now you can also do that for Xbox Live, which is nice. If you do it now, one of the things will show up like the Halo 5 launch countdown. I would assume there'd be much more integration with this in the future. It'd be great if you got to a point where Cortana was like, hey, you have an Xbox Live invite. Hey, someone wants to play Halo 5 with you right now. Come join us. And then you go, there's that. So
just a second. What a weird bug. Like the knock screen is coming. The notification center is going lower than the screen. It's
a bit odd.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a DPI thing?
No, I just think it's a bug.
All right.
RTM next week, guys.
Get it going. I don't know. I think Cortana's pretty used. I did that video on Cortana this week. Honestly, I don't use her much. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I did the video, so I went through what she does. But going in, I was like, and leaving, I said, okay, I could see people doing this. And the more she gets, the better that is. So I could see, Xbox Live integration being a good thing, especially if you get notifications and stuff. But that's about it for that news.
Yeah.
What else have we got this week?
Wallet stuff.
Yeah!
I have no idea about this, so let's give it a read. Microsoft said Windows 10 Mobile might get a wallet feature, which I think is quite interesting because they have a wallet app already. And it's kind of crap. It's, where is it? It allows you to store like gift cards and stuff, but I would like it. I think what they're saying here is that soon, much like Apple Pay and Google Pay, whatever it's called, you'll be able to tap your phone on a thing and actually pay for stuff with your credit card, which would be really cool. That's not like happening with Threshold 2. Microsoft has been laying the groundwork, hiring Amazon Payments products leader Ian Kennedy and applying for money transfer licenses in various states. Windows is going to have a wallet concept, he said. We're going to think about the range of payment scenarios. So it's in the planning stages right now. I don't think we're going to hear anything about this until Redstone. Redstone at the very earliest. So
I would think that with the iris scanning and Windows Hello, that payment would be something you could do pretty easily. I don't want to say maybe easily, it's not the right word. You have certain things in place that are the groundwork for a secure payment system. I know some people prefer fingerprint, and that's fine. But, some of these other Windows Hello type things.
The whole fingerprint and iris scanner thing, why did they put an iris scanner on it? Why not just a fingerprint scanner?
That's a very good question. I'll give you one thought, but I don't know where they put this on Android phones. On the iPhone, the fingerprint scanner is built into a hardware button.
Yeah.
But new Lumias don't have hardware buttons.
It's a capacitive one. I mean, you can still have a fingerprint reader there.
Where?
Just on the button itself, just on the capacitive button.
But there's no button on the Lumia 950.
Oh, yes, you're entirely right. Yeah,
where would they shove it?
I mean, then in that case, they should have put hardware buttons on it.
And then, I don't know do Androids have...
Some do, some don't.
I don't know where they even hide I don't know where they hide fingerprint stuff.
Some of them have them on the back, have them there. So just do that. Unlocks.
That's clever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Are iris scanners secure? They say they are. I don't know.
They should have palm lock. So instead of like your finger, you just hold the phone and it knows it's you.
Would you have to hold it?
No, I mean it would just know your characteristics. It will know how you usually hold your phone, how tightly you hold it. That'd be really weird, creepy.
I guess the iris one, I could see that being a little. You just go like this and then tap it. That's, I guess, pretty normal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this could be something that they do. I saw some other suggestions. Again, it's by Microsoft. Listen in, folks. if you have Windows Hello built into a Windows 10 PC, you can do integration with websites like Amazon. And you can connect payment to Amazon and say, do you want to buy this through Windows? And you just go click, and it goes, yeah, it's you. And we already have your info.
Yeah.
So that would be cool.
That would be cool.
This way, some of these things being on desktop and phone makes sense. Some you're like, but yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of money, Zach, we got some money stuff. Did you know that Bing makes money now?
No way.
Yeah, I know. People called it like this bottomless pit. They just kind of kept dumping billions of dollars into. But it turns out they actually make money now, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It said here, headline, Bing contributes $1 billion to Microsoft's bottom line in the first quarter of the 2016 fiscal year. So there's that. There's a bunch of financial reports. As I said, we have quite a few stories on this that kind of break down all the different ones. Like Office 365 revenue went up 70%, cloud revenue is up 8%, but things like phones are down, that sort of thing. But Bing is one of the things that's now profitable. It's the first time that it's made that jump. I read another article on this saying that Bing it's more than just a search engine. And so it's going to continue to grow because of other things. And one of the things is that Cortana on Windows 10 is leading to a lot more Bing searches, which is going to lead to more revenue. It's not, it's as they pointed, I think it's Mary Jo's article on ZDNet said, it's not just Yahoo or something like that. That could have been somebody else. They've done other things, and then Windows 10 increases Bing searches quite a bit. So now Bing is profitable, which is cool. That's nice.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's progress, right? How many years has it been?
How did they go? Is that $1 billion profit?
I have no idea. I didn't look at the. I don't do the finances.
It says Bing contributes $1 billion to Microsoft's bottom line. But that'd be weird if they went from negative to $1 billion profit. I don't know. I wonder if I'm sorry. People have criticized me for not doing enough research, but this doesn't really seem to clarify it. Huh? That's a lot of money.
Doesn't matter, does it? It's Bing.
Well, I've said this before. I think Bing can have Bing could hit 50% search market share, and I honestly don't think people would still think of Bing as a search engine first.
No,
because the way that
when you search the internet, you think I'm going to Google that. It's become like it's a thing, and it will take many years for that to break, for the human race to move on from saying Google that to Bing that.
Yeah, no, and it's with that meme where it says, stop trying to make fetch a thing for Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make Bing a thing. Like, I say Bing it, and I think people kind of giggle at me. Because, to be honest.
Yeah, no, when I say Bing it, when I say Bing it, I'm either saying it to get laughs or just saying it sarcastically.
Or saying it in a video and you want to say Bing instead of Google.
I always say Google, I mean Bing it.
Well, like I said, I don't think it's that Bing's a bad search engine, though it does vary from region to region, apparently. But,
oh, yeah, in the UK, it's just like, ugh.
Yeah. But what it is in Bing and Cortana are doing other things. Even things like searching a OneDrive photo, I think that's powered by some of the Bing stuff. And Bing powers a lot of different things inside of Microsoft and outside of Microsoft.
Bing is a platform in itself.
Right. So it's used a lot, but it's not. It's not a search engine.
Searching isn't the main feature it's for.
So there's like search market share, and then there's like search public awareness, and I think that's always going to be down here. So there's that. Even when I see something powered by, like my mom's GPS on her sat nav for us, our UK listeners, is powered by Bing, like the searching on it, and I was like, oh, that's odd. Yeah. I didn't know that they would do that, but yeah. So there you go. Bing made some money.
I mean, if you use the Bing lock screen thing, you always have like a Bing logo at the top of your screen on the lock screen. People are like, why is there the Bing logo on your lock screen? I'm like, because I'm a fan of Bing.
Spider-Man uses Bing. Well,
Yeah.
that's Sony Spider-Man. I don't know about Marvel Spider-Man, but he used it like a lot. Like every time the camera was near his computer, he was always on Bing.
He loved Bing. Bing was his homepage, I think. He had the Bing gadget on the desktop. It was like,
we could do like a segment on just like Microsoft ad placement
Because it's like when Apple don't pay for this kind of, people just use Apple products, which is why nobody points it out.
It's quite the opposite. People have to not use Apple stuff, but we all know it's an Apple, we all know it's a MacBook. It's a gray laptop with something the size of an Apple logo covered by a box. Like, we all know what it is. Like, Microsoft would be like jumping at, please, like, don't cover our logo. Please show our logo. And Apple's like, nah, you can't show our logo. Don't do that. You have to pay us for the right to use our products on screen. And Microsoft's paying other people to use their products on screen.
I know, it's like, Microsoft is such a second class.
Which is weird because there's more PCs than Macs. Windows, like, it's like 9-1.
Here's the thing. Windows is considered the standard and Mac is considered the premium. Which it shouldn't be. But to normal people, that's what they think. College girls want a MacBook. They don't know why they want a MacBook. They want a MacBook.
They just want a Surface Book.
Yeah,
you just tell them it's this Mac Surface Book.
Just say it's Apple.
It's
gray.
But
where's the logo? They want it because it's got an Apple logo on it.
I'll put a sticker on a Surface Book, try to sell it to someone. I bet you they buy
it. Probably.
Put a sticker on a Surface Book. You could
You could show them like the 4 squares and say, yeah, that's the new Apple logo.
And then you'd say, look, what it is, it's a MacBook Pro that turns into an iPad Pro, and then go, oh, that's really cool. That's great. Apple's so innovative.
That's what you have, because people, again, like, it's just like the whole Google thing. People, when they think of a tablet, they say iPad.
Right.
All tablets are an iPad.
Yeah.
Which is like,
the NFL ran it. Microsoft in America made this huge, millions and millions and millions of dollars on the NFL uses Surfaces. There's Surface logos. When you go in and out of commercial breaks, often they say brought to you by the official, tablet of the NFL. When the coaches on the sidelines and the players use Surfaces, all the commentators use Surfaces, and then they keep calling them iPads. At least they were. That was a big issue.
It's just like, come on, guys. It's
one guy called it an iPad knockoff, but I don't like that player anyway. So
put it an iPad knockoff. That's outrageous.
Or like rip off iPad or something like that.
That's terrible. Why do Microsoft pay this? What are Microsoft paying for here? To get
that's what some people said. Jay Cutler. Oh no, is that his name? I think it was Jay Cutler that said that, but he's not paid by Microsoft to call it the right thing. But Microsoft does have this partnership, so it gets a little
Microsoft is shelling out money to give their branding good light, and everybody on the program's going, "Oh yeah, the iPad knockoff, the iPad whatever it is, the non-iPad thing."
But people. It's just you don't know stuff. I'll be honest. If you handed me a MacBook, I wouldn't know how to use it to its fullest, and I'll probably say, "Man, this is terrible."
OS X is terrible. I have to use OS X quite often, and it's so bad. It's like,
but I don't know how to use it. But there was one guy, he had a Surface, which he had to. I don't know which news network this was. And then he had an iPad too. And then he said, oh, I have them both so I can do 2 things at once. And it's like...
He did not say that.
He did. And it's like, the Surface can do 2 things at once, right?
But yeah, well, I need to do 3 things at once.
In fact, on Windows 10, the Surface can do 4 things at once.
5 things at once.
Yeah,
I need to do Apple things. That's what he wants to say.
Yeah, I don't know, man. So it's a brand. It's like you said. Tablets are iPads. Searching is Google.
Terrible.
Apple Pay is powered by NFC, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to think because I know they had Google had their Pay thing, but I think Apple having Apple Pay makes those chip readers much more common. So then, if Microsoft can come in and do it, you would never. There's 0% chance that Microsoft could say, we really want you to install these card readers so that people can pay with their Lumias.
No, yeah, it'd never happen.
People are like, no.
They'd have to adopt a universal standard.
But if you went to Subway or McDonald's or somewhere, Starbucks, and said, here, it uses the same stuff you use for Apple Pay, they'll be like, yeah, whatever. No one will use it, but it doesn't hurt them.
We can add
it. Whatever. Click a button, it's on. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So there you go. Anyway, let me get to other money stuff real quick. Like I said, that's not something we generally... Xbox Live active users go up. The cloud business grew $5.9 billion in revenue, which is really good. Like I said, I'd love to have this, things went down, and it's billions. More personal computing sector declined 45%. Not great. Let's see here. I know their stock, last time I checked, was up 11%, which is very good.
Yes, it's gone up. Hooray!
And then Lumia profits not so good. I want to say the quote I saw was down 54%, right?
Yeah.
Is that the number you saw as well?
Yeah.
And then they the number of units sold is under 6 million, which is not great.
Got Windows 10, guys. It's almost.
That's it. It'll fix it. Do you think? That's probably a topic for another day. Some people are saying, should Microsoft kind of go like BlackBerry, where people just want it for a specific type of user, but it's just never going to be mainstream? Do you think that's where they're approaching?
Microsoft knows that Windows 10 Mobile for the foreseeable future won't be a thing. They know that.
Yeah.
But they're laying the groundwork for a platform that will be better when as time moves on. So people will, for a time there were people adopting Windows Phone. For a couple of years ago, it was slowly climbing, very very slowly, obviously. But then it started dying again since word of all these apps pulling away. But with the universal thingy-mabob, I think that will fix some of it.
I also just want to say, I really think this is a U.S. thing. The U.S. drives to me.
Lumia is great in this country. People know what a Lumia is. They're like, oh, is that a Lumia? Like, people on the bus ask me, is that a Lumia? Are they good? Can I get one? People are curious here in this country. And I imagine...
Yeah, I was at a restaurant. Someone said, oh, man, I really love mine. I just got it. What's that one? And they know the colorful back and that sort of thing. And they say, oh, we really like that. I guess that's going away with the flagships. But they'll see the black leather Mozo case with the metal band. And so that looks really sleek. What is that? Here, it'd be fine. But so much of the media, especially tech media, is driven by the United States. And so if it has a U.S. market share of like 2, it doesn't matter if in the big 5 in Europe it was 20. I mean, and there are countries where the iPhone and Lumia and Windows Phone are about the same. But obviously that's one country. But even if all of Europe was like 20% Windows Phone, people would still report it poorly if it was 2% in America.
Yeah.
Or they would say some sort of caveat like, it's not doing well except for in Europe. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't say it's doing well. So that's a country thing, I think.
No, you're right. You're entirely right.
Yeah. Anyway, as like I said, when I moved here, I didn't have to be ashamed to use a Lumia. It wasn't like...
I know, you can walk out in the street like, this is
I have a
my
Windows
Lumia.
Phone. Look,
What's your Lumia like?
It has 4 columns in it. It's wonderful. Yeah. It's great.
No, small world. I walked past someone today. Yesterday I think it was. Who had Windows 10 Mobile on their phone. Like, are you in the insider as well? Like,
you know what? Could have been a podcast listener. You should have said something.
I should have, but I didn't.
You should have been like, "Hey, I don't normally do this."
I should have been like, "Hey, look at this build that you don't have."
But I'm Zach Bowden. Have you ever heard of me?
Look, who the hell are you? Okay, sorry.
And I'd say, Have you ever seen anything on WinBeta.org? And they'd be like, because if they're on the preview, they've probably heard about us.
Mate, I mean, I'd like to think so.
The first day someone recognizes us on the podcast, that'll be a big deal. Like on the street, someone's like, "You're Zach Bowden. I know you."
I mean, that happened at the Windows 10 launch event, but
that's different.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, everybody's there because everybody knows what's going on, but in the street it's different. Like walking into like a McDonald's or something.
I want one thing before we get into the rapid fire that's on the official podcast, not the after party. One of our listeners tweeted us a photo, and it was his 5-year-old showed a picture of him watching the podcast. Not only did it have Zach and Sean, the kid put in our Twitter handles.
I know.
It had, like at Sean Michael UK. It was so cute. I love it. I love it. Because Zach and I do this and it's really fun, but it's kind of hard to like comprehend that people actually watch you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
One
Rapid
day
fire.
we're going to be on a broadcast network, I think.
Someday.
We'll have millions of followers.
Someday.
We'll be the next Walt Mossberg. Who's Walt?
All right.
I kid.
Do you want to do rapid fire before the after party?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Microsoft is pushing Edge and Groove. They're like suggesting that have you tried? I mean,
that's not a bad thing. Stop complaining.
I think it's fine. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they? It's their own platform.
Hey, do you want to try Chrome? No, of course they're going to say try Edge.
Although one of the things I don't appreciate is all of the Microsoft apps, they ask you to rate. It's a Microsoft app. It's their own platform. You don't need to rate it. Give it they don't need that. Don't do that, Microsoft.
If it comes pre-installed, they shouldn't have to rate it.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Why don't we skip the last one? We'll just close with that.
Why do you do last one?
I'm just tempted. I don't know. People seem to get angry. We can do it.
Do it. Because I've got a great response.
People seem to get angry, and I don't understand why. Joe Belfiore from Microsoft is taking a year off to spend time with his family at sea to learn with his family on one of these like study on the ocean kind of programs.
Have a good holiday, Joe Belfiore.
I agree.
Let's end there.
There you go. All right then.
It's not like it's not like he's abandoning Windows. He's going on holiday, guys. He'll be back.
I was just amazed that
he needs
people
a break.
were
He's probably stressed. He's been like, he's going grey now. And, he needs a break. He needs to go out to sea. He needs to be away from all technology. He needs to just have a good time. And then when he comes back, Windows 10 Mobile will be great.
let me say, since we opened this box a bit, someone tweeted him something like, continued futility of Windows 10 Mobile must have burned out Joe. And then he responded and he's like, I got the start menu back. I brought Cortana to the desktop. Windows 10 rolled out. Like, I don't think it's very futile. Like, he's going through like all these things. He's like, all I did was this. And then, so there were people defending him as well. But
I mean, I don't see the issue. I mean, we've got Terry Myerson, we've got Panos Panay, it's only one guy leaving.
They're in good hands. Yeah. I mean, he's a good guy and he's good at his job, but Microsoft's got good people. Yeah,
we've got that new guy with the hat now that does the demos anyway. We don't need Joe Belfiore.
With his hat.
Joe Belfiore can retire for all I care.
I'm assuming that these presenters actually do quite a bit with the team. It's not like they just hire public speakers.
No, they can hire me to demos.
Hey, look, I'm a good public speaker.
Yeah, if you want me to do demos on stage, I'll do demos on stage. But this is build 10509.
But I didn't develop the Surface Book, so I don't get to demo it.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, all right then. Well, that's it. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, this has been the WinBeta podcast, episode 38 for the week of October 25th. That's my birthday. October 23rd, 2015. I almost said my birthday there instead. Sorry. So there's that. Thank you for joining us. As always, I'm one of your co-hosts, Sean. You can find me on Twitter at Sean_Michael_UK. And when he's not playing Halo 5, you can find Zach on Twitter at
ZachB_.
Find WinBeta on Twitter at WinBetaDOT.org. And you can find us on Facebook, Google+, all sorts of things like that. We're not on Snapchat, sorry. And all those fun things around. You can listen to us on SoundCloud, podcast apps, tune in. Watch us on YouTube. Join us live on Fridays at 3 p.m. EDT. And anything else? Any other platforms we're on?
Probably. Just search WinBeta on Bing.
Yeah, you can find us. We're around. All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys. We will see you on the next one.